Hey everyone, welcome back. And today we've got a very special guest with us for the third season in a row. My good friend Broshmo is here to do a mock draft with us. And today we're going to be doing a two-rounder. We're going to do some trades in this one. I'm really excited for this one. Well, Broshmo, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It is that time of year, mock draft season. So it's time for the collabs, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked a little bit off camera. We are going to be doing trades, as I mentioned. Those will come and go throughout the episode. I will take the odds. He will take the evens. So I don't want to waste any more of your guys' time. I will leave all of his stuff linked in the description below. But let's go ahead and kick this off. I think the number one pick is pretty unanimous amongst NFL draft people out there. I think it's going to be Cam Ward. I think he's the top quarterback in this draft class, the arm talent, athleticism. You're a big Miami fan. What did you see from Cam Ward this season that justifies him being the number one overall pick?
He's just got that big play ability, man. He is, and even in the midst of mistakes, they always say quarterbacks gotta have a short memory span, and he does, man. He stays calm, cool, collected, even when you're down like 30 to Cal, just throwing a pick six, able to rally the team back. He's got one of the bigger arms this class. I won't say the biggest, but
Yeah.
he can improvise. He could move off the spot. He's got plus mobility. So there's enough there to take him first overall.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people want to compare him to the quarterbacks of last year's class. I think we got to get that out of our minds a little bit. I think Cam Ward is a quarterback worthy of going number one overall. And for the Titans, a team that needs a quarterback, I think this is the no-brainer pick. So I'm going to go with Cam Ward at number one. You're on the clock here with Cleveland at number two.
All right. I should have asked this beforehand. Is this a what we would do?
Yeah, let's do what we would do in
Thank
this
God.
one.
Thank God. Makes it a world easier. I'm going to go with Abdul Carter with this pick. Honestly, him or Travis Hunter, I'd be okay with. But the idea of pairing up Carter and Myles Garrett, it's just very, very appealing.
Yeah.
You could go with Travis Hunter with a couple of cornerbacks that'll be up on their contract next year. He gives you the wide receiver potential as well. But man, Carter, Garrett, they got some other guys there, but it's like they don't have a legit number two, and he could be
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, this is a pick that I absolutely love. You got to build through the trenches, and the Browns' defense has been pretty good for the last few years. I think Abdul Carter could take them over the top. I love this move. For the Giants at three, I know a lot of people will want me to take Shedeur Sanders here. I'm not going to do that. I just don't know that he's a top 10 quarterback in this class. I'm going to go with Travis Hunter, whether you play him at receiver or boundary corner. I still think both of those are needs for the Giants. I know they improved the secondary a little bit in free agency, bringing in Paulson and Debo, but Deontay Banks hasn't really turned into the star that I was thinking that he would. You need a corner. Travis, I think, is the best corner in the class, and I think he's probably the best receiver. So play him wherever you want to. I think he's the best player in the draft, and I just love the fit of him and Malik Neighbors in that receiving room, or him and Paulson Adebo, whatever it is. I'm going to take Travis Hunter to the Giants at number three.
Very nice. Making the difficult pick difficult for me for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Golly. So like ideally it's like this could be a trade down spot, but then like who's the dancing partner? Who's coming up to move? Who's moving up for who? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a case for any team to move up. So I think the Patriots might be just stuck here, sticking and picking. And now that Shedeur will fall, question is like who and where moves up to get Shedeur. That's going to be super fascinating in this. I'm between three guys. Tyler Warren is in my mind. This would be the highest I've seen him go in mock drafts. I mean, it's Josh McDaniels, 2 tight end sets. A lot makes sense there. Tetro McMillan would be the other guy. I think he would be a good complement to guys like Pop Douglas, Stephon Diggs. And then Will Campbell is kind of right now the projected pick.
Mm-hmm.
So he's someone we got to talk about. Like, okay, is he a tackle? We won't know until So we see it on the field. He somehow came in with 33-inch arms, but an even smaller wingspan. If anything, the wingspan is in the lower percentile. I don't think we've seen a tackle with that small of a wingspan in the NFL, or at least have reasonable success. So one way or another, this pick is to you got to help Drake May,
Mm-hmm.
one way or the other. I think preferably I probably would go with Tet. I have a little bit more faith in that, but I'm I say I'm okay. I'm in the camp of let's do things weird. Let's experiment with options. I'm gonna go with Tyler Warren here at 4.
Okay.
We just saw Trey McBride get his contract. Brock Bowers had one of the best tight end year we've ever seen. And that was just a year removed after Sam Laporta having a stellar year at tight end. Tight end is the new black, they would say. Orange is the new black, whatever.
Yeah.
So here we go, man. Josh McDaniels getting his 2 tight ends. Got Hunter
I
Henry
like
there
this.
too.
It's out there. It's an idea, like you said. I don't think I've seen Warren this high, but I think it makes a lot of sense for all the reasons that you laid out. I really like this move. Got the Jags here at pick 5. I want to go. I'm really tempted to go with an offensive lineman here for them. And just like, I haven't seen that a whole lot. I think they made enough moves on the offensive line to justify they still have Ezra Cleveland. They brought in Robert Hainsey, Patrick McCarry. I still think they're going to go with Mason Graham. I think he is the right fit for this team. You need another interior defensive presence. Mason Graham, I think, gives you a lot of juice, not just as a pass rusher, but he's a very good run defender as well. I think he's a perfect fit, and this is a team that I think is trying to build through the trenches. I'm going to go Mason Graham here at 5.
All right, let's go. I was kind of hoping he might make it to 6. But I mean, it is what it is. Shenanigans. So I could do the easy thing and take Ashton Genty, right? You can do
Yeah.
the easy thing. Tetero McMillan's a guy that pops into my head as well. Corner is another area that could be on the table, but is it too early here? It would be guys like Barron or Will Johnson. I think at that point, maybe you just go with either Tet or Ashton Genty. You know what? I'm in the business of let's make this an interesting mock draft. I'm gonna go with Tetero McMillan and get a wide receiver because you got Jacoby Myers, stupid good wide receiver too. You don't have the guy. Tet potentially can be that. I know people are like, oh man, we haven't seen a receiver go in the top 5 that ran a 4.5 or over a 4.5. And it's like, well, you had like Drake London not test out
Mm-hmm.
during the process. You've had Marvin Harrison Jr. not test out. Those guys probably would be 4.5 guys, like London for sure. So not entirely a true take there, but yeah, let's just get Gino some help, man. They just extended him too.
Yeah, I like this pick. I think we're getting a lot of prospect fatigue with Tetero McMillan. I still think he's the best receiver in this draft class. I want to throw a question out to you. What are your thoughts on Jalen Walker as a prospect here? Because I'm looking at him not
I'm all
for the
over the
Jets,
place.
but there's been some rumors about the Falcons wanting to move up here to take Jalen Walker. I think that would be a little high for Walker, but where do you stand on him as a prospect?
Yeah, man. For one, the Falcons and none of their draft capital, that would be
Yeah.
interesting. But Walker, I'm all over the place with. I don't see him as a top 10 guy. I get why some people do.
Hmm.
When it comes to like build and frame, he's relatively in like that Carter area. If anything, it's like, well, Carter last year was his first year full time at the edge, and Jalen Walker hasn't really had that. He's just been this chess piece. So if you plan on making him an edge outright from day one, maybe he's going to have that 1 year of growth and development. I like him better in the mid to late first round area. There's just a couple other edge rushers I think I would take over him, but like I like Walker quite a bit. I don't think I'd take him top 10 though.
Yeah, I'm there. I was thinking about trading back with Atlanta, but I am going to probably stick and pick here for the Jets and go with Arman Mimu. They lost Morgan Moses in free agency. You got to get a right tackle of the future. Mimu, he's falling to the Jets less and less in these mock drafts. And so if he's on the board here, I think he is the right pick for the Jets. You've got to build through the trenches, like we've said a few times throughout this video. Mimu might be the best pure tackle in the class. It just depends on where you view Will Campbell. But I think he fits perfectly with what the Jets and Aaron Glenn want to do. So I'm going to take Arman Mimu at 7 to the Jets.
Yeah, that's like my favorite prospect to project to a team. Like, dude, Aaron Glenn witnessed first and foremost the importance of having like a top 3 offensive line in the league. So
Yeah.
I think that's definitely within the range of possibilities. This one actually, outside of Abdul Carter, might be my easiest pick. I'm just going to sprint this sucker in. I'm going to take Mike Green for the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. Mike Green is going to be a top 10 guy on my board. He's been my guy since October. I don't believe in their edge room outside of Clowney. I think they have some solid rotation options with former Vikings edges in Wonham and Patrick Jones, but those guys don't give me that true edge to counterpart to Clowney. And I mean, I think Green has the upside to be an edge one.
Yeah, I think I was watching your midseason edge rankings. You have Mike Green pretty high. I'm like, I got to turn on the tape of this guy. He's incredible. I think he is my edge too, and probably going to be in my top 10 as well when it's all said and done. I love his game, and the way he improved against the run this year was really, really exciting. So I'm excited to see him here. I love this pick for Carolina. At 9 to the Saints, this might be one of the hardest teams to draft for in the top 10 because they could go with every single position on the board, and I think it would probably be a good pick for them. I've seen Genty mocked here a lot. I don't really love that move for them. I think if we are going to go crazy here, I think Saints fans really hate Derek Carr, and they want him out of there. I think there's some post-June 1st talk with him, maybe being cut. Don't quote me on that one, but I'm going to go with Shedeur Sanders here. If we're going to go crazy, I think going quarterback for the Saints is a possibility. And I think Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback. I still think he's got some great traits about him. The accuracy, the ball placement is really good. I think the Saints, they haven't really addressed high capital in quarterback in a very long time. And I'm going to do it here. I'm going to go Shedeur Sanders at number 9 to the Saints.
And the Panthers are going to be an interesting, trade down team if Shedeur does make it past, I guess, the Jets and obviously the top 3. Man, but I'm, dude, how much it would cost for a team to move up to 8? Because I mean, the teams you're looking at are like what the Steelers. I don't think they're going to do it. Giants and Browns at the beginning of the second round. That's too pricey at that point. Just take them at 2 or 3. So, whoo, man, yeah. That is, dude, the Sanders family and Nollins. Hell yeah. This one's easy for me. I'm going Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson gets his Jahmyr Gibbs. They've already strengthened the offensive line. Granted, you can maybe make a pitch to maybe look to the future with, I think Tooney's only on there. One more year. I think Braxton Jones is just a question mark. I have no idea what they're going to do with him. I guess we'll figure that out draft time. So they could go offensive line realistically, but I mean, if you're looking to take some pressure off of Caleb, then it's going to be through the run game. You could pair up Genty with Swift, and you also got Roschon Johnson there. So I like that. I like that fit for him.
Yeah, another easy pick here for me at 11. I'm going to go with Will Campbell to the Niners. I think just his ability to help their run game, whether you play him inside or you play him at tackle. I love Will Campbell. He's my top offensive lineman in the draft. I think he's a perfect scheme fit for what Shanahan wants to do. I'm going to take him at 11 to San Francisco.
Man, this Dallas Cowboys pick is very, very interesting. Part of me kind of likes the idea of Will Johnson.
Yeah.
Another part of me is Another part of me is thinking maybe like a Derek Harmon, if you want to go with the defensive side of the football. But then there's that Matthew Golden, pair him back up in or bring him back to Texas. This man hasn't been out of Texas, I think, ever in his life. He was at Houston. He was at Texas last year. Where did he go to high school? I'm just gonna look that up real quick. He went to he went to high school in Houston. So he's been in Texas his whole life. Oh, golly. This is quite the conundrum. What do they got going on at the safety position? Though, I mean, I don't think this is a team that never really valued safety that
Mhm.
high. Even during like Dan Quinn's time, they've kind of just gone out and got like guys. I mean, they still got Hooker. They like Donovan Wilson. He's been there for a minute. I mean, you got Diggs coming off the injury. And I mean, Bland can play inside and out. Oh, if that's the case, then actually maybe getting Jahdae Barron's probably going to be the shout out then.
That's
Get
the move
someone
I
that
was
can play
thinking
inside and
because they
out.
lost. I believe was it Lewis? They lost to Jacksonville, who was their starting nickel. So I was looking at Jade here as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Jacksonville made him the highest paid slot corner in
Mhm.
the NFL. That's something, I suppose. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Barron. Get that inside
Yeah, I
outside
like that move.
flexibility.
I like that move. Since you're the Dolphins fan here, I'm going to give you this pick. Pick for your
Oh, you
team.
don't have to give it to me, dude. I'd much rather hear what you think my Dolphins should do, and then I'll
All
just
right.
sit here and criticize it.
All right. uh, well, I would go offensive line. I think that's something move every Dolphins fan wants to make. Calvin Banks, I think, is an underrated player in this class. I think he could play on the tackle position. He could play guard. He's got the athleticism to be a good fit in this McDaniel offense. But I do look at the secondary. I think I am going to go Will Johnson here. It's a move I just haven't made a whole lot for them, but I do think it makes a lot of sense because you got Jalen Ramsey, but after that, I really don't love the secondary options. You got Kohu in the slot, Cam Smith, who was a big my guy a few years ago. He hasn't really turned into anything in the NFL. Will Johnson, I think, he's still my top corner, true corner in the class, I would say. And I love the way he moves. I love the ball skills. I'm going to take him at 13 here for the Dolphins to just try and get some more help in the secondary.
Yeah, you don't have to do much to sell me on Will Johnson, and I freaking love him.
Your pick here for the Colts at 14.
Yep, really screwed the pooch by not having Tyler Warren here, huh? Uh, golly. So, the things that jump into my mind, Loveland will be on the board for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even hesitant to take Tyler Warren just because I don't know how much that'll matter with how often Anthony Richardson actually throws the football, how much volume went the tight end's way last season. So I'm a bit hesitant when it comes to tight end. Anyway, wanna I want to maybe look at the defensive line. Jahad Campbell could be a sneaky one here,
Yeah.
but he's just had the labrum surgery, so I don't know if that drops him a little bit. So the guys jumping through my mind are like Kenneth Grant, Derek Harmon. You could always go edge as well, but I mean, it's a deep defensive line class in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, Coach Lou's there. He likes depth on the defensive interior. Uh, they tried to have that in Cincy, had some injuries, and just some things just didn't work out there. I think I'm actually going to go with Derek Harmon. I think he gives you the best of both worlds. He can be stout as a run defender, but he also could be that penetrator.
Yeah.
So send it.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen Harmon that high to the Colts. I like the pick though. They had injuries last year too. When Buckner went out for a few games and Stewart goes down, they just had zero depth. The interior, I think Green Bay ran for like 200 yards on them in the first half. So they're going to need to improve the run defense and improve the interior. So with the way the board fell, I like Harmon a lot. I think he's a very good player. I like that move for my Colts there. At 15, Atlanta. I know we talked about Jalen Walker being an option for them earlier. I'm still lower on Jalen Walker than the consensus, and I don't think I would take him here. Who is my top edge on the board? I still think I'm going to go with James Pierce here. I love the athletic juice that he brings. I'm not in the locker room. I can't speak to the off the field issues or anything like that. But as a football player, I think he's phenomenal. I love the way that he moves, the bend. I think he's active with his hands. He improved tremendously against the run this year, and he tested off the chart. So I really like him as a prospect. He's still my number 3 edge rusher. I'm going to go with James Pierce here at 15.
Nice. So with the Cardinals, this could be another Jahad Campbell landing spot, but again, I don't know how much the labrum will play into his draft stock. But if you weren't going to go, I was pretty confident with whatever edge you took at 15. I was probably going to take an edge at 16. So this is actually where I'm going to pull the trigger on Jalen Walker. Get him there for the Cards.
I like that move. I like him as a compliment to Josh Sweat there. 17 to the Bengals. A lot of different ways they can go, but they're all defense. I think edge rusher, Shamar Stewart, Mykel Williams. I like Ezra Rock, who has a fit to them a little bit more than those guys because I think he can be more of an impact player day one, while I think these guys are more project types. I think it's a little early to go corner. Interior is probably where I'm going to go. I like Walter Nolan a little bit more than I like Kenneth Grant. I think he gives you good versatility. He's a freak athlete that can defend the run well, and he's still a really good pass rusher. I think he fits a little bit more of what they want to do. So I'm going to go with Walter Nolan here at 17.
Nice. I love Walter Nolan, man. I would have taken him for the Colts, but I don't know how much of an immediate contributor he can be from day one, and I feel like Steichen kind of needs immediate contributions from his first round pick this year.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bengals, they go Walter Nolan. I think I'm going to do something different for the Seahawks. Normally, I just love going offensive, like going with like Gray Zabel. Some people think it's a reach here. I tend to disagree, but I'm again, we're going to do things a little different. Let's experiment with some possibilities. I'm going to go with Kenneth Grant here for the Seahawks. They really don't have that true nose tackle. They'll have guys like Byron Murphy and Jaron Reed kind of like float in and out between like the 0 and 1 tech. So getting someone that could truly play that, be that spacier with also the ability to push the pocket, I think allows you to, move Byron Murphy to more of this penetrating role, which I think would be just phenomenal at.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either, but I really like that move. Kenneth Grant, I think, is a really good fit. And you know that Mike McDonald loves to just have versatility on the defensive line and just be able to move guys around. So I like Kenneth Grant there at 18. At 19, it's Jahad Campbell. I'm not thinking twice about it. Todd Bowles gets the replacement to Levante David at 19. Huge fan of Jahad Campbell. I think this is a guy that might end up being in like my top 7 players on my final big board. I'm a huge fan of what he can bring to the table. And for Tampa Bay, I think there's a home run pick for them.
Nice. Denver Broncos. I think I'm just going to go Matthew Golden.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, Luther Burden's also in the discussion there. I kind of toss and turn between who I want to have ranked ahead of who, but I think I'm going to go with the more complete, polished. Let's go with polished route runner. He's just more nuanced in that regard. I think he can be a high upside wide receiver 2, which they currently don't have. I think they have a ton of guys that function as a slot wide receiver 3. And then you have Cortland Sutton as the 1. They added Evan Ingram. So just keep getting Bo Nix more options. So I'm going to go Golden.
Yeah, I like that move as well. At 21 for the Steelers, their only pick of the draft. Man, you took Kenneth Grant. I think he would have been an option for me here. I'm just not there with Jackson Dart in the first round.
No.
I just can't get there. I think I'm going to go with Amari Hampton. Just take a running back. I know Steelers fans are a little worried because of how the Najee Harris thing worked out, but Hampton, tremendous power, contact balance. He can do it all at the running back position. It looks like they're going to get Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they're desperate to get a quarterback right away anyways. Omari Hampton's a very good football player, and I'm going to take him at 21 to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, to me, I'm running the card in for this. I think Harbaugh goes back to his former roots in Michigan. They brought in Tyler Conklin. I'm not going to lie. I don't really care. Colson Loveland, I think, is a better player. So gonna help out Herbert.
Yeah, like that move as well. 23 to Green Bay, toughest team to draft for every year. I would have loved to have gone with Golden here just because I think he's got the potential to be that true number one that I think this team's looking for. Emeka Egbuka is intriguing, I think, but I don't know. Man, this is tough. I think edge is in play with Shamar Stewart, Mykel Williams, Donovan Ezeraku I like, but he doesn't really fit their size thresholds that they usually like to go with. Could go on the interior, but I think it's a little early for some of these guys. I think O-line is pretty good for them. I think I'm going to go with Mykel Williams. I think like the athleticism that he brings. I think he gives you a little bit of a higher floor than Shamar Stewart, particularly as a run defender. He just wasn't healthy this year, and they've kind of played him out of position. I think if you play him with that more hand in the dirt style, he can really develop into being that number one edge. So I'm going to go Mykel Williams here. Haven't taken him to Green Bay before, but I think he's the type of prospect that Gutekunst would just absolutely love.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So this is the pick that I probably want to talk about a trade down with. Minnesota just not having a lot of, well, I mean, looking at their capital, they only have 4 picks in this class. So if there was a team that wanted to move up, I suspect it would be for maybe like one of the safeties, a tackle with Kelvin Banks still around.
Yeah.
So in my head, I think the Chiefs could be a team maybe that moves up. Maybe if they want to go get a tackle, this has been a team that I would say, like, if they like a guy, they have no fear of trading up to go get that guy. So I'm just gonna pitch that out there.
Okay. Yeah, I like that move. But they got Connerly and Banks on the board. You got to suspect Houston would take a tackle as well. I think it would probably cost, obviously, 31. Would it be 66, or do you think 95 would be the one to get it done?
I'm taking a quick gander at the trade chart. So it has the value about 140, which that would be like pick 95. And what other picks do oh my gosh, dude, they don't really have a man, they go from pick 133 to 226. Golly. So I would say 95, and then they have a 4th next year.
Yeah.
So
I think that makes sense.
I would pitch a 4th. Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. And then you're on the clock here with the Chiefs. Is it Banks?
It's Banks. I'm going to go Kelvin Banks. You got to keep swinging until you get it right. If I know Chiefs fans don't love the idea of taking a tackle. It's like we've swung and missed so many times, and it also kind of feels that way in free agency with like Jawan Taylor. But just because you haven't been good at it doesn't mean you stop taking swings of the bat. You got to keep swinging until you get it right. You look at that left tackle spot. You got Jalen Moore there. Maybe you kick Banks off to right tackle, or you just play him early at left guard and have him compete with Kingsley Suamatea. I think there's a bunch of different options you can go with here and feel okay as long as you know that you're fortifying an offensive line that got mollywopped in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. At 25, I'm going to go with Gray Zabel here to Houston. Versatility on the offensive line, the ability to just play all 5 positions. You got to protect CJ Stroud. I know Texans fans don't like the pick because he's North Dakota State. You scout the player, not the helmet. And Gray Zabel is a damn good football player and a guy that he feels a huge need for this team. So I'm going to go with Zabel at 25.
Man, I mean, we're sitting here looking at Malachi Starks. You also got Nick Emmanuel here, and I don't think so the Rams, I would love it if they could get Colston. They would have to probably move up, and they don't really have the draft capital to do that. Would it be too much of a luxury pick to look ahead and be like, hey, Cam Curl is not going to be in our future plans? So do we take like Malachi Starks with knowing that he is? Because I mean, Curl was okay last year, but nothing special. He's only on a 2-year deal. So like Malachi Starks is in my head. Because I think I'd rather take him than having to like go with one of the corners here that might have question marks, whether it be Maxwell Harrison. You can make a case for Trey Amos, of course, but like Benjamin Morrison, Savone Revel. I think we're doing things different. I'm going to go with Malachi Starks.
Yeah. Yeah. Starks is another victim of prospect fatigue, I think. Didn't have the quality season that he had in 2023, but still had a very good season. I still think he's the top safety and a first-round player in this class. 27 to the Ravens. I want to get some more help off the edge, get another pass rusher, get another option to get after the quarterback, because I just don't think they've been able to do that at a super high, consistent rate. Shedeur Stewart is on the board here. I think you just bet on the freak athleticism that he has. Just tested off the charts at the NFL draft combine. What did he run? A 4.59, 40-inch vert, 10.11 on the broad jump. He's a freak, and I think a guy that can play in numerous different alignments. I'm going to go Shedeur Stewart here, 27 to the Baltimore Ravens.
Nice. Detroit Lions. I think I'm just going to go with Donovan Ezaraku and call it a day. Get that edge help. They brought back. I like that they brought back Davenport, but you can never trust them to stay healthy, unfortunately. Like, when on the field, good. It's just never on the field. Yeah. They released Zadarius Smith, so you're going to need another guy to come in there. As Rocco, he could be that dude.
Yeah, like that move for them as well. 29 for Washington. I would have loved if Omarion Hampton was here. I still think Travion Henderson is very much in play for Washington here at 29. Just get some more speed in the backfield. Edge rusher, Scorton's here. I still really like Scorton. You could go Eamon Worry. I don't love the safety room that they have. Could go corner. I think I'm going to go Travion Henderson. If we're doing things different, go get a big play, speedy back. I did this in a mock recently. Commanders fans really like Travion Henderson as well. He's a great blocker, phenomenal speed, can catch the ball. I think he's an upgrade over Brian Robinson. So I'm going to go Travion Henderson here at pick 29.
Ooh, I like this. This is a different first round. I am very compelled by this. Bills, got to draft for the Bills. Ugh, disgusted. Has to be defense, right, man? This defense let up so many points last year. They haven't really done anything to bring in a viable corner two next to Bedford, who had concussion woes down the end of the during the playoffs, I believe. I think Trey Amos is probably the most logical fit. He gives you that good body, good frame, good length, plays physical. He's got just a nose for the football. Kind of gives off a little bit of that Rasul Douglas, who I hear was quite good for the Bills. So, yeah, I'll go Amos.
Yeah. He's one of the toughest evaluations because I feel like he does everything so well, but it's like I can't rank him any higher than this. The LSU tape that it was phenomenal. He's just everywhere in that game. I like this pick a lot. I think it makes the pick easy for Minnesota as well. I'm going to go Nick Emmanuel. They lost Cam Bynum. Brian Flores loves to run out multiple safeties. Emmanuel, we talked about Shedeur Stewart being a freak. Emmanuel is right up there with him with the way that he moves, the versatility that he brings. Great in coverage. I'm a big fan of him, and I think there's a perfect landing spot at Minnesota at 31.
Ooh, Philadelphia Eagles. This is a team that likes to look to the future. So the question is, how much to the future do I want to look? Uh, Part of me, I kind of want to gamble. I think I'm going to gamble. I'm a bit of a gambling man. I think we're going to do it. Okay, I'm going to take Josh Simmons here.
Okay.
He's going to be my heir apparent to Lane Johnson. Looking ahead, there's going to be questions when it comes to the patellar tendon and just the efficiency of guys coming back from that type of injury it's not great, but there have been advances in medical technology, but still the rate is not great. But I don't mind taking that shot. He has experience at right tackle going back to his San Diego State days. He doesn't have to start right away. This team loves to keep a strength to strength. I think you're doing that with this pick.
Yeah, interesting pick there. I do like that for Philly. I think if you look at the depth chart of Cleveland after this year, I don't think they have anybody on the offensive line. So I'm going to go with an offensive lineman here. Josh Connerly's on the board. I think he's a borderline first round caliber tackle. It's just been a revolving door on the offensive line. I'm just going to go get a guy that I think could start at left tackle from you for day one. I'm going to go Josh Connerly here at 33.
Man, this is going to be such an interesting pick for the Giants. Part of me screams stick to the board, take best player available, get guys that could be immediate impact players because, well, it's very likely that you're not keeping your job if this team's not competitive next year. I feel like they did quite a bit in free agency. You bring in Russ. Maybe you look to the future. You take a shot. Some people are talking up Jackson Dart. Like Jackson Dart is my quarterback 3. I think I got a top 50 grade on him. Does it feel rich here? Because I mean, he's not going to have to start year 1, which kind of
Case scenario for him.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a lot more fun if it was Shedeur with Travis Hunter there, but you know what? Yeah, let's send it. Let's get the quarterback of tomorrow in Jackson Dart.
I like that move. 35 here for the Titans. Whew, interesting spot. Their second round pick after they go quarterback is really difficult, I think. Edge, I think, is in play with Nick Scorton here. They lost Harold Landry. Didn't really have the greatest season anyways. I just don't really love the options that they have off the edge. They could go receiver as well because that's just been a weak point for them. Traylon Burks might not even make the roster. Emeka Egbuka is here. That's probably the pick just because I think he gives you the safest floor. I'm going to take Emeka Egbuka. I'm not going to overthink this. I think he's the best receiver on the board. He's just high floor, good route runner. He's going to be a great build that chemistry early with Cam Ward. I'm going to go Egbuka there at 35.
Nice. So I know that the Jags have done quite a bit when it comes to free agency. They brought in Eric Murray and Jordan Lewis. I'm going to be real. I don't really like any of those options. Mm-hmm. So for me, corner and safety would still be on the board. But this is Liam Cohen. This is his first draft. They went with Mason Graham to start the draft. I got to imagine that they're going to do offense at some point along the line. So I think I'm actually, instead of going with Luther Burden, I think the better fit is probably Jaden Higgins.
Wow.
Yeah, I want that big body guy that can make the contested catch, but he's a pretty good route runner, so he could actually create separation on the short to intermediate, even downfield in some cases, to come in there and complement Brian Thomas. Again, Luther Burden, I think, just kind of plays a bit more into what they have in Parker Washington, but like it's just a much better version of Parker Washington. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to go with Higgins.
Interesting. I like Higgins a lot. I think that's a really solid move. He can be that Mike Evans type that Liam Cohen had last year. So I like that move. For the Raiders at 37, I'm going to go with the corner. I'm going to go Savon Ravel. He is one of my favorite corners in this draft class. Big, athletic, can play zone, man. tackles really well for the cornerback position. I think if it wasn't for the injury, he would be going in the top 15 of this class, but unfortunately falls to the second round. And he's in a really good spot in Vegas where I think he's immediately the number one corner, and I think he's going to be a really good player. So just take the best player here. To me, that's Revel. I'm going to take him at 37.
All right, man. Patriots took Tyler Warren in the first round. It's fun. It's fun. Golly. So I know Patriots fans, they want their tackle, they want their guard. So like Donovan Jackson's a legit option here.
Mm-hmm.
But golly, Luther Burden is right there. He's right there for Josh McDaniels to just throw into the wide receiver room. And I think the more responsible thing is Donovan Jackson, but man, I'm just going to take a quick look. They pick again at 69. Wide receivers will be, I think, fine at that point. If we're talking tackles, maybe Ursery's there. I doubt it. Really doubt it. If I kick the can down the road right now, I'm probably not going to get that guy. We'll be stuck in like a Caden Wallace situation from last year.
Yeah.
And Donovan Jackson, I guess if at the very least, if he's not a tackle, I would try him at tackle first. If it doesn't work out, then cool. He's your left guard. I think that's the more responsible thing to do here. I'm going to go with Donovan Jackson.
Yeah, I like that move for them. At 39, man, the board has fallen pretty well for the Bears. You could go with Ursery, get that long-term left tackle, especially if you don't think Braxton Jones is going to be there long-term. Could go edge. Nick Scorton is still on the board. I really like Scorton as a fit opposite of Montez Sweat. You could go interior as well. I think I am going to go with this pick. I'm going to go with Nick Scorton here. Just get a dynamic edge rusher that slims down more towards the weight that he played at Purdue, and I think that's very exciting because he's got some real athletic upside, juice, good bend, could drop into coverage. Big fan of him. Going to take him at 39.
Okay, for the Saints, dude, Luther Burden be there, man. I'm going to keep thinking Luther Burden anytime I have to pick. But I think you got to go with the trenches, whether it be the offensive line or maybe the defensive line. This team sucked at stopping the run last year. I think Tyleik Williams might be the best run stuffer in this class. So I'm going to go with Tyleik.
41 for the Bears. Now you got me thinking Luther Burden because the value's too good.
It's tough, right?
Yeah. You might not have Keenan Allen back next year. It doesn't look like he will be back. You went running back earlier. I'm also looking at Tyler Booker because he's still on the board here at 41. Yeah. And you mentioned Joe Tooney doesn't have a lot of time left. I don't know how well Booker would fit in this wide zone scheme that Ben Johnson runs, but the value could be really good to take a chance on this guy who I think is the top interior player in the class. I think I'm going to go with let me pull up the Bears safety room because I'm looking at Xavier Watts as an option for this team because I know they've got Kevin Byard, who I think only has 1 year left on his deal.
1 year left.
And then you got Brisker, who dealt with a bunch of injuries last year.
All concussions.
Yeah. Man, I think I am going to go Xavier Watts here and just take a safety that I like his versatility for you. I think he moves well. Some of the best ball skills in the entire draft class. And I think could be a long-term replacement for Kevin Byard at free. So I'm going to take him at 41.
So the Jets, this is kind of wild. I'm going to stick with what you did in the first round by taking a Missouri player. I'm going to take Luther Burden. If Justin Fields is going to succeed, he's going to need to get the ball out really quick. Burden, phenomenal after the catch. I know it's Aaron Glenn's first draft, and through 2 rounds, it's all offensive players. Let's be honest, the struggle for this team was offensively. So, yeah, snag Burden. You could do a lot of you could do a lot of fun things with Burden too. So,
yeah, home run draft for the Jets so far. This would be an excellent draft for New York. At 43, we got the Niners. You lost Dre Greenlaw. I really like Carson Schwessinger to them. I think that's an interesting move. Corners in play, though. Hairston, Thomas, Morrison. I think I'll go Thomas. I like the athleticism. He's one of the best press man corners in the entire draft class. And I think just adding some more pieces. You lost Charvarius Ward to Indy. I think just adding another piece here is an important move. So I'm going to take Azaria Thomas at 43.
Now with the Cowboys, I'm compelled to go with another Texas player. That would be jumping to the defense, taking like an Alfred Collins to get a true run stuffer. I'm not going to do that though, because I want to get some offense. They brought in Javonte Williams. He's on a 1 year. Miles Sanders is there on a 1 year. If Luther Burden was still here, that probably would have been the pick. I mean, that would just be nuts. But I think I'm probably gonna take. I think I might just actually push running back. It's a deep running back class. We don't have to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't think I'm doing it. I'm actually going to stick with the defense then, if that's the case. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the defense. I'll go with Alfred Collins. He is, I think, very similar to some of these other guys like Tyleik Williams, very high floor players because of their ability to defend the run. I think he greatly improved with his leverage this past season, and he was far more impressive as a pass rusher when he was rushing from like the nose tackle, the one tech position. But I mean, Texas used him all over the place, so then his pass rush win rate kind of varied. But if you just plan on getting that big space eating nose tackle and you're going to keep him there for like 300 snaps over the course of the season, then he's the guy. He's the guy. So we're going to do it.
Oh, man. This is a tough pick as well at 45. The Derek Harmon move. Mason Taylor is a player that I would really love for the Colts. I think this would be my dream scenario is to take Campbell at 14 and Taylor at 45. But Tyler Booker is still here, and this team lost Will Fries in free agency. They need that right guard, and I think he could be a good fit for this team. I'm just going to take Tyler Booker. I think the slide has to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
I think he's a first-round player, but just ended up falling in this scenario. Colts need help on the offensive line. There was a report earlier this week that the Colts were looking at going guard in the first round, which I would not be happy about. But Tyler Booker here at 45, I think, is tremendous value for a guy that I think is a very good football player. They want to run the ball. I think Booker's a powerful run blocker that can open run lanes. I'm going to take him here for Indy.
So with the Atlanta Falcons, you got your edge in James Pierce Jr. I kind of looked at the secondary, and part of me is like, they brought in Jordan Fuller. I like Jordan Fuller. He's coming off kind of a meh year. I don't know if that's enough to stop me from taking, I love Kevin Winston. I think if he didn't get hurt, he'd be much higher.
100% agree.
But corner, man, corner. They brought back Mike Hughes, and that's okay. But I'd rather have a little bit more depth there. I don't want to roll the dice too much on these red flag guys because Maxwell Harrison kind of has something, but I don't even know. It's all one tweet. I don't know how much stock to put into that. So I'm going to say screw it, forget it. We're going with Maxwell Harrison. He's a really good fit. He can work inside and out. I love the dude's got that dog in him. He's willing to come up and play the run. Is he the best run defender in the world? Not necessarily, but again, has that dog in him. He showed ball skills over the course of his career, especially the last two seasons. Go back to 2023. I think he had 5 interceptions. They need that type of playmaker next to AJ Terrell.
I like it. I like it a lot. 47 for the Cardinals. Ooh, I like the idea of Tate Ratledge to this team. They need a guard. I think Ratledge is a really good fit for them. I also think they could go corner, get a true boundary corner. Benjamin Morrison is still here. Just get a lockdown true number one, because I think Garrett Williams was very good in the slot. You've got Max Melton. I think I'm going to go Benjamin Morrison here. I think I like what he could bring at 47. A guy, again, if he didn't get hurt, we talked about it with Revel, we talked about it with Winston. If Morrison didn't get hurt, he's a lock to go top 20, I think. But fortunately, ended up getting hurt with a hip injury. Haven't really heard a whole lot about it, which I feel like is a good thing. So I'm going to take Morrison at 47 to Arizona.
Yeah, in most cases we won't know until the draft. We're like, why is this said player fallen? Oh, something popped up at the combine. Cool. But I think it is encouraging that nothing's come out right away about Morrison. Dude was a top 15 pick entering the season.
Yeah.
Oh, Miami Dolphins, man. I feel like with the Dolphins, if I have to go offensive line here. I do like me some Tate Ratledge, but I want to go with a more versatile player, in my opinion. That guy's going to be Jonah Savanea out of Arizona. He's played left tackle, right tackle. He's played right guard. And ideally, I think I'm just going to slot him into left guard because, well, Liam Eichenberg is just not great. Terrible option. And if you have injuries, because, like, I don't know if Armstead's coming back or not. I don't think he's decided yet. But we have the heir apparent out there with Patrick Paul. Austin Jackson was better down the stretch. But again, if injury pops up, then you could always kick Savanea out to right tackle. So he gives you options. I just want to keep Tua upright and unconcussed.
Yeah, that would be ideal here. I like that move for Miami. Now, Fratledge is still here for Cincinnati at 49. I think he would be a home run. I do want to do my due diligence. Look at the edge rushers. You've got Braden Swinson. They've got Princely Omanmielen. I think Oladejo's got a real chance to go in the second round. I'm a lot higher on him than consensus. I'm also thinking about Kevin Winston Jr. You mentioned him earlier. This team just doesn't have very good safety play. Winston ran a 4.4 at the at his pro day as well, so that's really encouraging.
Was it a 4.4?
I thought it was a 4.44. Let me pull that up again. I don't have it on my board, but I believe I had read that he ran a 4.44.
Oh, man, I thought it was 4.5, but I mean,
if that's the case,
regardless, that's still a good number for a safety.
Exactly. So, man, do I go with the pass rush juice of a guy like Braden Swinson? Do I go with Tate Ratledge to improve the offensive line? Or do I take the high upside of a guy like Kevin Winston? I'm going to go Kevin Winston, I think. He's a guy that will probably be a top 30 guy for me in this class. I'm a huge fan of him as a prospect. I'm going to take him to Cincinnati at 49.
I love me some Winston. I think he was currently the highest player on my board, still available. Also, that it really helped. You kept bringing up Tate Ratledge, and I was like, golly, I screwed the Seahawks so bad. This is why you should probably go with like Zabel at pick 18, but what do I know? So I'm going to take Ratledge here because, golly, they have one of the worst interior offensive lines currently in the NFL. Even if you believe in some of those young guys, they are unproven. Let's just kind of sweeten the pot and increase the chances of success.
Yeah, I love that move. 51 for the Broncos. I'm stuck between a couple of guys here. You went Matthew Golden in the first round. I think Quinshon Judkins is the best running back on the board. Gives you some power, gives you some speed, good blocking back as well. I love Quinshon Judkins. I think you could go tight end. I think, though, you mentioned they brought in Evan Ingram. I think they could wait. I also think they could go with a guy like Darius Alexander, though. If you look at the free agents that they have coming up with John Franklin Myers, Zach Allen, Malcolm Roach, they're all free agents. Darius Alexander's on the board here. I think I'm going to go Alexander. I like what he brings to defensive line, particularly as a pass rusher, active hands, really good athleticism for the position. He is older, but I think he does give you the chance to be a day one impactful player, and I'm a big fan of his game, so I'm going to take him at 51 at Denver.
Whew. All right, back with the Seahawks, and all right, part of me, I got corner in my head, right? I got corner in my head, but Who would that guy be? It would probably be like a Darren Porter type. Who that's Reek Wolin all over again, which
Yeah.
was good. Oh, actually, no, I just had something pop into my head that I might like. Because I was gonna send it with Ursary and be like, screw it, we'll just play him at guard early, and if Abe Lucas goes down, then he goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I'm actually gonna go with Charles Grant out of William and Mary.
Ooh.
Not necessarily this high on my board, but I know he's high for a lot of different people, like top 50 type.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there because I wish he had the offseason draft process, but there's no denying if you're doing a wide zone, Clint Kubiak, Grant's the guy you want. The dude's exceptionally athletic. He's probably the most athletic offensive lineman, probably outside of Jared Wilson, still on the board.
I got a chance to interview him. He's incredible. I think his athleticism, he is a tackle, I think, especially with that arm length. But if you wanted to kick inside, he can kick inside. Yeah. They need some versatility on the line. I'm a big fan of Charles Grant. I like that move a lot.
You can't trust the health of Abe Lucas. So
yeah, absolutely. At 53 corner, you could go Darren Porter. Him and Zion McCollum would just be stupid athletic in that backfield. But I'm going to go with Braden Swinson, I think. Just go get a pass rusher that can get after the quarterback. You brought in Hassan Reddick. It's just a one-year deal. Just continue to add some more pieces. You got Braswell, who I like. Now you add Swinson. You've obviously got Yaya Diaby. And I think you would be looking at a very good, formidable pass rush for a long time in Tampa Bay.
Man, Green Bay Packers on the clock, and there's all these edge rushers that I love, and they already went with edge rusher. Gotta freaking love it. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, Schwessinger is kind of interesting, but they got one more year of Quay. I think they really like what is it McDuffie, the other guy there outside with
McDuffie.
Cooper. I could take a shot at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be missing Christian Watson. If I'm looking for big body, vertical type that can also do it on the short part of the field, then I think it's probably Alec Manor. It's probably the guy I'm going to go with right here for the Packers.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that move as well. 55 for the Chargers. We went tight end earlier. Defensive line, they lost Puna Ford, who was very important for their team. I think interior defensive line is where I'm thinking right away. I think they could go running back. Judkins is still on the board. Edge as well is in play for me. Do I just go Michigan again and take Josiah Stewart? I might do it. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Be Harbaugh.
Man, I think I'm going to go with TJ Sanders. I think just adding some more help on the interior of the defensive line. Good pass rusher with good hands. Overall solid athlete that I think can be a really good rotational offensive lineman. 6'3", 284, ran a 4.95. Big fan of his game, the way he moves. I'm going to take him to the Chargers at 55.
Yeah, I was currently trying to talk myself into TJ Sanders for the Bills with this pick. I feel like they need more girth, but I was like, well, at least he's on the shorter side. He's stout. So, fortunately, I don't even have to consider it now. I'm probably going to go with just Landon Jackson here. They brought in, how do you say, Michael Hoyt?
Yeah, Hoyt.
All right, Hoyt. They got him after 6 games, but I forgot what type of deal. I think it might be a 1 or 2 year deal, but Bosa's only there for 1 year. You don't have that true number 2 next to Greg Rousseau. So grabbing another toolsy, big-bodied edge rusher, I think kind of makes sense here with Jackson.
Yeah. 57, we got the Panthers. I'm going to go receiver here. I'm going to take Jack Besh. I'm a big Jack Besh believer. I think he is a great blocking type. He feels like the perfect Adam Thielen replacement for when he's gone. I don't think they need some help on the boundary, but he also can play in the slot, catches everything. Jack Besh is one of my guys in this class. I'm going to take him at 57. I saw your face. You were looking at him for the Texans here, weren't you?
I was. You saw the disappointment immediately hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's all right. It's all right. That be the draft. She is a cruel mistress at some points. I still want to think about wide receiver. I just don't know if the type per se that I want is here.
Mhm.
I think because I'd rather a little bit more bulk, but that's not necessary. Like necessarily where they have to like pigeonhole themselves into. Like the other two guys I'm looking at are like Kyle Williams.
Mhm.
There's Jalen Royals. Royals is a little thicker. Oh man, I just love Kyle Williams, how fluent he is.
Yeah.
I wish there was more defensive tackles to kind of pick from. Kind of look at the board, and to me, it's like, oh no, these are like firmly third round guys.
Yeah.
I could just double up on offensive interior. That's not out of the realm of possibility. I think a
Very well.
sneaky pick here is I know they extended Dalton Schultz, but I don't know if he was
Ooh.
banged up. He wasn't that great last year. He moved slow as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna take a shot on Elijah Arroyo, get that athletic tight end that could also function like as a big slot. So yeah, I just want to give CJ Stroud more help than he had last season.
Yeah. I like that move. He can be basically another receiver for you anyways while being a better blocker. He is more of that slot type. So I'm a big fan of that pickup for them. 59 for the Ravens. Go guard, go Marcus and Bo or Jared Wilson. I think Wilson's probably a true center though, so I'm probably not going to do that. Corner, Darian Porter's here. They lost Brandon Stevens. I don't know. Did they bring anybody else in at the cornerback position?
Um,
I know they've been
they
linked to Jair
they
Alexander, but I don't think anything's happened there.
they did bring in somebody. I'm trying to remember because they have TJ Tampa there. I don't know how they feel about Tampa. It's not like he saw a lot of time last season.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right. Chidobe Awuzie.
that's who they brought in. Okay. Porter's interesting. I think I'm probably going to go Andrew Makuba, though. Just they did lose some help in the safety department. You got Kyle Hamilton and Ardarius Washington slated to start. Just adding some more depth. I know you talked about guys that they brought in last year. They brought in Bo Braid as an undrafted guy who I really liked, but I don't think that's stopping you from taking Andrew Makuba, who I love. So I'm going to take him at 59 to Baltimore.
I mean, he gives you that stank, man. He. If anything, he's like the most Raven safety in
Yeah.
this class. Oh, buddy, golly gee, the Detroit Lions. I took my edge, and now it's just kind of like the world's my oyster. I could do whatever the heck I want with this pick, for the most part, within reason. I don't think it's bad if I want to think about corner here, but I think ultimately, because like Jacob Parrish is probably the guy that I might consider at this juncture, just because he could also work inside and out, probably would be slot early
Mm-hmm.
for the Lions. But again, that's just kind of a thought. Maybe get an in on the wide receiver class because I know that they have Tim Patrick for another year, but it is a man that has had unfortunate injury history over the course of his career. They're going to fifth year option Jameson Williams, but still might want to have another guy on the outside. The question is, what type of guy do I want? And I mean, is there anything else I'm on? Like Jared Wilson? Also, you could talk about like, oh, Frank Ragnow, will he call it quits in the next few years? But even then, like, I think Wilson, he can play at guard. Like he did that in 2023 in some spot starts. Yeah, he's probably a better true center than he is guard, but I don't think he like can't do that, you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
man, if only I knew earlier that this was a good edge class, I probably would have just chucked that sucker down the board. Yeah, I think I'm probably just going to talk myself into the wide receiver and call it a day. The question is, God, I legitimately have Kyle Williams and Jalen Royals like neck and neck. Like, oh, you could take either of these guys.
I I would take Royals here personally. I think Royals is a little bit higher on my board. Just I think he can play a little bit more on the outside than Williams can. He's did a little bit more at Utah State and is a phenomenal route runner as well. But like you said, those two and Io Manor are like very close for me. Those three are in a tier.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of the, because you can even throw like Jalen Knoll into this discussion.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of the wide receiver class. Like, it has whatever spice of life. Like, there's a large variety of different guys you can take here,
I
and
was going
not
to
just.
this. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's not even just like, oh, there's this type of guy, this type of guy, or this type of guy, but like even within the tiers, it's very much like, whew, we could truly take whoever we want. I come back to that yak ability with Royals,
Mhm.
and that might sell it for me. What were you gonna say before I plug
I was
this?
going to tweet this yesterday, going on about the wide receiver class. But in some ways, I feel like this class, last year's wide receiver class, we all know was super top heavy. There was a bunch of guys in the first round, but I didn't think the depth was as deep as this year's class. In some ways, I think this wide receiver class is better because in the fifth, sixth rounds, you've got guys like Dante Thornton, who I think can be contributors. And I think there's a very deep wide receiver class that with so much talent in it.
Yeah, I think once you get past round one, it's just not a lot of the high end talent
Mm-hmm.
there, but it's pretty chunky. I didn't even mention, man, Trey Harris as well could be an option here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I feel that he is more of a long, like outside of like the yak ability in the quick game, whether it's just like a slant or whatnot, he is a more longer developing route runner. If you're going to ask him to do more intermediate and like downfield stuff, but yeah, it's going to be Royals for me.
Yeah, I love that move. Royals he's so underrated. I feel like I just never hear anybody talking about him in this class, but this is around the spot where I think he should go. At 61, go edge rusher. Josiah Stewart, I think, will be a ton of fun on this team, just as a speed threat off the edge for them. I mentioned I'm a big fan of Olufemi Oladejo. I think he's a great run defender that could drop into coverage. I like the versatility he brings. So I'm going to go with that. He's one of my guys in the class. I think he's got a legitimate chance to go in the early parts of day two. I remember Kuiper had a mock where he went in the first round. I don't think he goes that high, but I think at 61, I think this is a good spot for him. So I'm going to take him here.
All right. Yeah, man. I remember at the Senior Bowl, I thought he was Donovan Ezeraku for a minute because he just had the gold helmets. I was like, oh man, look at Ezeraku. He's making plays again. I was like, oh, hold on, wait. And I think they had similar numbers. I think one was 5 and the other was 6. So it was like, it was just kind of funky that way. How did I get all the Bills picks, man? Bills fans, you are lucky I'm not throwing this for you. But I know that Bills fans don't necessarily like where I'm about to go here, but to me, the value's there. I'm going to go with Carson Schwestinger out of UCLA. I'm just going to continuing to address the defense. I already went edge, already went corner. Matt Milano, I think they restructured his deal, so he's a free agent after this season. They did extend Bernard, but behind him, I loved Dorian Williams coming out of Tulane. I don't think he's inspired enough in me to where I'm just content sitting on him as my future linebacker. I'd rather just bring in some more competition.
Yeah. I really considered him for Washington as well because you got Bobby Wagner back on 1 year. I know they drafted Jordan McGee last year, but I don't think that should be stopping you. I like Schwestinger a lot. I think he's a really good player. 63 for Kansas City. I'm going to go Omar Norman Lott. I think he's just a freak athlete that can get after the quarterback, rush the passer. I think him next to Chris Jones with Karlaftis and some of the other pieces that they have off the edge would be super nice. So I like Omar Norman Lott a ton. I'm going to take him to the Chiefs at 63.
Yeah, that's kind of who I was penciling in at 64. Because I look at the remainder of this defensive interior class, and I think a lot of these guys I have like late third round grades on, early day 3.
Mm-hmm.
So Well, can't get my defensive interior here. It is what it is. So I think I might just take a luxury pick if I'm going to be honest. I think that's probably where I'll be at. I'm going to take a quick examination of the roster, and even safety went off the board pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this juncture, I'm just like, you know what? Just kick safety to day 3. I think the only other safety I have a day 2 grade on might be Jonas Sanker and Billy Bowman, but those are like back end of the 3rd round guys for me. So it's like, probably shouldn't go there. Could do an outside wide receiver, develop a guy, keep DeJean in the slot. That could be something. Probably not going to do that though. Yeah, I think I have an idea. Again, we're going straight luxury pick, and I'm gonna take Quinshon Judkins to the Eagles. They brought in freaking AJ Dillon to be a backup. I know they got Will Shipley, but he's very much a receiving back and gives you that return capabilities. But dude, you can't have Saquon can't have over like 450 touches a year.
Yeah.
This is a man that has had multiple like ankle sprains over his career. He had a devastating knee injury a few years ago. Keep him fresh for goodness sake. And if you have Judkins, then you don't really lose much. Some would say you lose nothing at all with him staying on the field. So
yeah.
Here we go. Luxury.
I would be so mad if that happened. Just the rich get richer here. But what a draft. A lot of new ideas that I haven't seen very often. And I thought this was a ton of fun. Is there anything you wanna plug? Anything you want to say before we hop off here?
Yeah, if you don't know already, it's your boy Broshmo, just in case you didn't know so. I do draft content, so check out Broshmo on the YouTube, and occasionally I post on the X. I believe that's what they call it nowadays. But dude, this was a wild mock. Like we're gonna see it in the draft. Good players fall.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. You're gonna see it in your comment section. Oh, this player can't fall this far. That's insane. That is ludicrous. And it's like, yeah, it's almost like the draft can be unpredictable at times.
Yeah.
So this I think has some realism, honestly, in it. With some picks, it's like didn't see coming. Like I didn't come in here expecting to take Malachi Starks to the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of found myself there, and it just ended up happening. But yeah, a lot of interesting picks, and it definitely prepares you to not necessarily not be surprised, but it opens your mind up to a variety of different possibilities. And if this scenario were to go down, then what could this team be looking at if maybe these said guys aren't on the board that I've mocked to them for the last 6 months? So it's a super fun exercise.
Absolutely. Like I said, I will leave all of his links down in the description below. Be sure to go check him out. But that's going to do it for us in this video. Leave a like on this one. Subscribe if you are new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.